listen to my dad. He's a beast. And if you don't want to listen to him, okay, you don't want to get successful. If you ain't trying to dominate, man, then go listen to something else.
Welcome, athletes, top performers, and all those looking to gain that killer instinct, that edge you need to dominate in any environment. This is the Sports Motivation Podcast, and I'm your host, Niyi Sobo. I played ball and succeeded at the highest levels, and I'm now committed to showing you how you can accomplish the ambitious goals and visions that you have. This podcast is designed to teach you high-level strategy, not just fluff and hype. This will cut to the core if you let it. And by taking action on the practical and next level advice I share, you will see results. Expect that. Expect to be more confident. Expect to be more focused. Expect to be more decisive. And expect to be more fearless. Expect to become the leader your vision needs you to become. So listen up. Take notes. Let's get to it. All right, I am about to break down some very simple, practical tips for managing your time. But before I get into these, I want to make sure that you understand there is no right or wrong way to get the result. All right, remember, we're all about getting the result. Time is a tool, a resource, and it happens to be very limited and finite. We can't do anything about it. We can't make more time. We can't drag hours out longer. So the goal is to get the results, right? And so these are not some random tips. I'm not going to be telling you apps to download and like little corny little tips like that. This is going to be a mix of ways of approaching things and some powerful habits that are going to have a dramatic impact on your ability to get the most out of a day, because that's what we're focusing on. So these are let's just get right into it. All right. Number one, review your goals first thing in the morning. All right. First thing in the morning. I actually have my whole identity mapped out on one piece of paper, complete with my goals, my vision, my values, my G code, which is my belief system, all on one piece of paper. And it's right by my bed. I have one of those filing cabinets. I literally drill them into every single bathroom in the house where I put books as well as my ID. So I read it. I read it first thing in the morning, because one of the things I do first thing in the morning is I hit the toilet, all right? And I'm reading it while I'm on the toilet. This is powerful, because the reason why this is so effective for maximizing time is because when we wake up, sometimes, honestly, I wake up, I'm kind of like a zombie when I wake up. Like, I'm like, what's going on? There are a few times when I can wake up and just be like, yeah. But most of the time, I'm pretty tired, man. I don't get a ton of sleep. And I'm still trying to hack this whole waking up on fire type of thing. Now, I have a routine to get me on fire in the morning, but it starts with reviewing my goals and my vision. So it grounds me in what it is that I need to be doing every day. Because remember, we're focused on results, not tasks, all right, and to-do lists. So that's really critical, to review your goals first thing in the morning. There's no like fancy way to do this, even if you just have a piece of paper and have your goals written down or your vision written down or a picture that reminds you of your goals and vision. You just got to get your mind consciously and subconsciously focused on what it is where it is that you're going. That helps you eliminate all the distractions. All right. Number two, you need to religiously execute your morning mastery. I mean, literally, we've been cranking out videos over this past 3 days, man, with my guys here. My guys, Mike and Brandon, flew out from Cali to shoot all these videos. The first night, I think we didn't get to sleep till like probably 1 or 2 o'clock. Busy as mess, man. So this happens when I travel a lot. It's really easy for me to get off track and not execute my routines. And so my routine when I'm home is I have a certain routine that I do each morning to ground me, to anchor me to each day. All right. You talk about The Rock, man. The Rock, no matter what, Rock Dwayne Johnson, ripped up, chiseled, the Beyonce to men, right? What Beyonce is to women, The Rock is to men. We love The Rock. This dude every single morning does his workout. Every single morning does his cardio, and he has breakfast in between his cardio and his workout. That is his routine. He does it every morning without fail. It doesn't matter if he was just on a set of, some gladiator movie that he's shooting and he was shooting all night until 6 in the till 2 in the morning. He's getting up and he's doing it. So what this means for you is that, first of all, this means that you got to have a routine and that you have to do it no matter what. Even if that means you have to shorten it a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Like these past 2 days, I've been getting 15, 20-minute workouts in, but it doesn't matter. As long as I keep that momentum going, it keeps me grounded. It makes sure that I don't get off track. And it reminds me that I'm in control, because if you let circumstances drive you off of your routines, you lost, man, because now circumstances are in control. I'm always in control. So if I can't read as much at night, I'm going to read at least one page. It doesn't matter. I always read before I go to sleep. It doesn't matter if it's one page, a sentence, whatever. I'm in control. All right. So it's really important to religiously execute that morning master routine. This keeps you grounded. Number 3, identify your outcomes for each day. I didn't say create a to-do list. All right. Now, your outcomes can be in the form of a list, but you need to identify what it is that you're going after, the end result. So sometimes the end result is getting a certain thing accomplished. Sometimes the end result is more a feeling of improvement or accomplishment or mastery over something. Sometimes it can be connecting with someone and achieving a certain result. Whatever it is, make sure it is that you're identifying what those top outcomes are for the day. All right. The next thing, I work/train in blocks of time. Many people look at their training or their work as like, I'm going to write some emails. I'm going to dribble, work on my dribbles. I'm going to thinking of things like that in terms of each little piece makes things really, really overwhelming. And the reason why it makes it overwhelming is because then in your mind, you have a collection of random tasks to do. What you need to do is work in blocks of time. So it's training time, it's skill work time. And during that skill work time, you block everything out and you do different things, right? So I have my morning routine in which I do my meditation, my breathing exercise, my visualization. But if every day I was like, I got to do this, and all these check boxes. No, this is the time in which I master the morning. That's the block of time. This is the time in which I produce high quality content. And then I, of course, record podcasts. Boom, boom, boom. For you, in terms of dominating in your sport, this is the time to train, to do your weightlifting. This is the time to prepare your meals, not chop up this and make this. No, those are all the tasks, but you work in terms of blocks of time. And remember, in earlier, we helped you set up your time blocks, but you always got to be working in blocks of time. All right. The next one is a pretty practical one. Everyone has cell phones. I will challenge you to ask yourself, honestly, what do you have a cell phone for? Why do you need a cell phone? So you might say, because people can get a hold of me. Why do people need to get a hold of you? And do they need to be able to get a hold of you all day? Honestly, I have 5 kids and I have a wife, and I go on airplane mode about 80% of the day. Honestly. Now, I check my phone at certain times during the day, but there's no real need for me to have my phone on all day. There's no emergencies that are begging of my attention. Whoever is calling you, if whoever can potentially call you are more important than your goals, you need some better goals. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that people can't love you and, you don't have people that's important to you, but you should not be a prisoner or a slave to your phone all day. Turn that shit off. All right. When you're training, turn your phone off. Turn it off. Or airplane mode if you use it to play music. You can still use I just found out I had been putting my phone on airplane mode and it wasn't allowing me to do Bluetooth at the same time because I have this Bluetooth speaker that I bring around with me in the house. And I realized, I thought that you couldn't have Bluetooth while on airplane mode, but I realized that was not true. So another problem solved. Get on airplane. Have hours for going live. All right. This next one, there's a great book that I read called Deep Work by Newport. And it was so crazy how he broke this down. And this kind of speaks to this last step that I talked about. But having blocks for being distracted. But most people have blocks for being locked in. Do you get what I'm saying? So we're distracted all day, but sometimes we're focused. I want you to be focused all day in the things that you're doing and have blocks of time that you allow yourself to, play around with your phone, surf the internet, whatever. But you should be dialed in for most of the day and present in what it is that you're doing, not the other way around. Most of us are zombies for most of the day, And then when it comes time to do stuff, we try to get locked in. And because we do it so little time, we're not that good at it. All right. So I want you to reverse it. Have blocks of time, designate, 10 minutes, 15 minutes here in the middle of the day to play around on your phone. And then after that, turn it back on airplane mode. All right. The next one, prime time often. All right. Now, what is prime time? Prime time is a ceremony, a ritual to get your body activated and fully engaged in what it is that you're doing. I don't care who you are, what you do, what sports you play, what business you're in. You have periods of time during the day when your energy starts to drop. Energy is of the utmost importance. And one of the ways you can create energy is through your body. All right. Your body, what you focus on, and the words that you use. So I literally play music in between, my work. I get live. I play music. I get my body activated. I keep it live. So at Zappos, they actually are known for people who work there. They got these big offices and they'll play music randomly at different parts of the day. They'll be jumping, screaming, just in like 5-minute blocks, 3-minute blocks. They got trampolines. They got bicycles. They understand that the need to get your body activated to create energy. Because if you don't, how effective are you going to be? You're not going to be effective at all. So it's important to get your body activated prime time very often as you need to. Use music. Use whatever you know yourself. You know what gets your body activated and gets the energy flowing. Whatever it is, if it's not detrimental to you long term, do it. All right. Because I'm going to get to some other stuff later, which is the next one. Eliminating sweets, coffees, etc. All right, listen. Energy is life. Life is energy. Life is time. Time is everything that we got. If you don't value what you eat, if you don't value your energy, you're not going to get stuff done. You're not going to be effective when you work out. You're not going to be effective when you train. And you're certainly not going to be able to come home from long 2-a-day practices, study your playbook, and be able to call your wife and kids on the phone, and still be able to work towards your business, and still be able to read, do all those things. You can't do all those. I do all those things because I value my energy. I value how I feel. All right. Now, I'm not saying you can never eat sweets. I'm not saying nothing. You don't have to listen to me at all. All I'm saying is that if you're constantly eating candies, if you're constantly eating chips, Pop-Tarts, if you're constantly drinking sugary coffee drinks, if you're constantly consuming food that you know is not good for you, you're not going to maximize your time. You're going to be useless. Without your health, you can't do anything. All right. So you got to make sure that you value energy and that you understand what you eat. This next one is really critical. I could have just summed it up all with this one thing. And it's this. When you find yourself, because you are a very aware person, you wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't have some level of awareness and you didn't have some desire to grow and improve. One of the things that prevents us from getting better is because we have this idea of who it is that we want to be, how great we want to be, how efficient we want to be, how much stuff we want to get done. And we try to do it. You're watching these videos, you're on YouTube buying books and all this other stuff, right? And then when you don't meet that standard, you beat yourself up. It's the worst thing that you can do. Beating yourself up, berating yourself, acting as if you're supposed to achieve some sort of level where now everything's cool. No, I am not perfect with my time, and I will never be perfect with my time. But you know what I am? I'm committed to improving every single day. Every single day, I ruthlessly search for ways to improve. Just some little thing. Just every day, just find some little thing that you can do, but don't beat yourself up. Only encourage yourself. Encourage yourself. So I like to say this, man, hold yourself to an unreasonably high standard. Okay. But before that, you have to have unconditional love for yourself. Now, what does that mean? If you went to church, you understand unconditional love. That means God said he would love us regardless of what we do, no matter what sins we commit, no matter whatever it is that we do, we love them regardless. It's the type of love that you should have for your kids. It's the type that every human being should strive to have for everyone, quite frankly. But for our kids, right? It's like we love them even though they make mistakes, but still hold them to a high standard. This is very tough to do, honestly, because a lot of times we hold ourselves to a high standard, but we beat ourselves up. The bulk of the population claims they love themselves so much that they keep themselves a low standard. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not suggesting you take the lower the bar for yourself. No, keep the bar high, but make sure that you love yourself unconditionally. Do not beat yourself up. Always get better. If you find yourself getting super, super distracted. Like you didn't turn your phone off. You're texting in the middle of your workout. You're tired, yawning. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning or in the afternoon, and you're going for a bag of Skittles. Don't beat yourself up. Throw the bag of Skittles away and get right back on track. All right. The last one, prioritize maximizing time. All right. Again, I hope you weren't, watching this video thinking that you're going to walk away with the answers to like all of your problems. You're always going to have demands at your time. You're going to have new challenges. You're going to have new things that come up. The thing at the end of the day, though, that you have to understand is that time, like I said earlier, is a finite resource, and it's absolutely the most critical thing that we can use in order to accomplish what it is that we want to accomplish. We have to value it. And so most people don't value their time. They value other useless things, but they treat their time. I think it was in Seneca's book on the Shortness of Life. He said, be frugal with your time, not frugal with, corny stuff like saving $1 when, you're on gas. We're frugal with money, but we're not frugal with our time. You need to be stingy with your time, like guard it, because you're not getting any more of it. Even with money, man, you can get more money, but you can't get back more time. All right. So prioritize it and improve constantly. As a little extra for you, I want to give you 4 books that I believe will give you a totally new outlook on time and help change and modify the way that I view time to where I feel like I'm honestly a pretty productive dude and I only get better. You know what I'm saying? I pride myself on getting better. So wherever it is that I'm at right now, I'm only getting better. And these are the books that help me shape that mentality. Number 1 is a No BS Time Management. It's by Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy is a popular marketer and author. He has this whole No BS series. It's a great book on time management. The Power of Focus by Jack Canfield is actually the book that I first read like 5 or 6 years ago. And I remember very vividly reading this. And then I was on the beach with my wife and I couldn't put this book down. And I finished it while I was on the beach, like just all day reading this book. And it inspired me to create the blueprint system that I now use and have this course about. So The Power of Focus by Jack Canfield is a great book that will teach you all about how to focus and get the most out of your time. Next one, Deep Work by Newport. Awesome book. Very, very practical. He teaches you how to pretty much focus, man. Like how to just block everything out and get stuff done. It's very practical, and he's a college professor, so he does a great job of setting it up for you and selling you both rationally and emotionally on the need to do this. And he gives you some powerful, really useful tips. Check that out. The last one is not a time management book, but for all the athletes, it's a must-read book. And seeing the example of how he approaches training, of how he uses his time was super inspiring to me. And this is Michael Johnson's book, Slaying the Dragon. This dude is a straight up beast when it comes to how disciplined he is and how ruthless he is about eliminating all distractions. He's got his training logs in there. The dude hasn't missed a workout in 10 years. He's just a beast, man. So read that book. It's actually, in terms of autobiographies from athletes, I'd have to put this at the top, quite honestly. There's a few that I'm thinking about that could rival it, but this is actually one of the best, hands down, in terms of autobiographies for athletes. And he gets really, really deep. I love the way that he thinks, his philosophy, and he lays out a lot about time. All right. Understand these things, get intimate with these things, practice these tips, these mindset shifts, and you will become a master of time. But you must make it your goal to become a master of time. You must prioritize mastering your time. All right. See you on the other side. Thank you for tuning in to the Sports Motivation Podcast. Make sure if you dig in the podcast, go and subscribe so you can always get the latest episodes. I come out with a new episode twice a week on Tuesday and Friday at 3 a.m. Eastern. And make sure you go ahead and rate it and leave me a good review. As always, I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Much love. One of the most common questions I get from athletes all the time is this: what is the single best thing I can do to reach my goals? How can I set myself apart from everybody else? Obviously, there are a lot of things, but the one thing that's helped set me apart was having a coach. a mentor, someone to show me the right strategies and how I need to do things specifically to achieve my results. So you could try to do it on your own, but you'll end up making many mistakes that could have been avoided if you had someone guiding you and coaching you along the way. 99% of athletes in the world have expert coaches to show them the things that they can't see. If you want to work with me as your coach, I want you to go to IMNOTYOU.com/SRC and learn more and sign up for a free coaching session. I'll give you 60 minutes of my time for free, and I can teach you some dynamic strategies, plus show you how you can secure me as your sports results coach. All I ask is that you fit in this criteria. You're serious about your sport, you're willing to invest the time and money, and you have clear goals of taking your game to the next level, or some sort of specific results you want to achieve. This is definitely not for everyone, and I have very limited spots available for this. So, if this applies to you, I want you to take action. Go to IMNOTYOU.com/SRC, and I guarantee you're going to take your game and your career to the next level.